Late summer into early fall is the exact window where a lawn that looks completely dead can come back thick by next spring. Get it right in these next few weeks, and the transformation happens almost on its own. Miss it, and you're locked into the same weedy, patchy mess for another full year. If your yard is more dandelion and clover than grass, if there are bald spots by the mailbox and a dead strip where the dog runs the fence line, if you've already sprayed weed killer once and watched the weeds crawl right back in, this is built for that lawn. Here's what almost nobody tells you. Fixing this has nothing to do with stronger weed killer or a pricier bag of seed. It comes down to two things. One is completely free to check. The other costs about $2, and skipping it is the single most common reason reseeding jobs fail before the new grass ever breaks the surface. Stick around, because that $2 fix is coming, and once you see it, you'll understand exactly why your lawn keeps losing this fight, the real problem underneath. Weeds are not actually your problem. They're a symptom of one. A weed seed needs bare soil and direct light to sprout. In a thick lawn, that seed lands on a dense mat of grass and never touches dirt, never sees light, and dies without ever sprouting. So when a lawn goes mostly weeds, the grass thinned out first. The weeds only moved into the space left behind. That's the one idea to hold on to for the rest of this, because it explains every mistake coming up. Mistake 1. The chemical already in your garage. Even if you understand that, you can still wreck the whole season with something already sitting on a shelf at home. Pre-emergent herbicide, the active ingredient in most crabgrass preventers and weed and feed products, works by killing seeds the moment they try to germinate. It builds a barrier in the topsoil that attacks the first root a seed pushes out, and it cannot tell a weed seed from a grass seed. Depending on the product and the label, that barrier can stay active anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks or longer. Spring comes, you put down crabgrass preventer like a responsible homeowner. 2 months later, you spread grass seed on the thin patches. Nothing comes up. You assume the seed was bad, but the seed was fine. It tried to grow, hit that barrier, and died before it reached the surface. Before anything else, check what's actually gone down on that lawn recently, and read the label for the specific reseeding wait time. That single check costs nothing, and it can save your entire season. Mistake 2, the same trap, flipped. Even if your soil is clear of pre-emergent, you can still miss the window with the opposite product. Post-emergent weed killer. The spray you use directly on dandelions and clover that are already up also needs time to clear before you seed. Most labels call for somewhere between 1 and 4 weeks depending on the product. So this is one to actually read rather than guess. Spray too late in the season, and by the time that window closes, you've missed the best time of year to seed and you're sitting the whole year out. Mistake 3. The $2 reveal. Now, say you got both of those right. You checked the labels, you timed everything perfectly. You can still fail right here, at the step almost nobody thinks twice about. When you reseed a bare or thin patch, the standard move is to cover the seed with a thin layer of topsoil. It holds moisture, keeps the seed pressed against the ground, keeps birds off. It feels like the responsible thing to do. Here's the problem. Nobody mentions on the bag. Some inexpensive or unprocessed topsoil can contain viable weed seed, especially if it was scraped straight from open ground, rather than screened and processed by a reputable supplier. Grab the wrong bag, and you're not just covering your new grass seed. You could be planting the next generation of weeds directly on top of it. That's how some people end up fighting weeds all spring, finally reseeding, and 6 weeks later staring at a patch full of weeds they've never even seen in their yard before. They didn't do anything wrong with the grass seed. The weeds rode in with the covering material, without them ever knowing it. The fix costs about $2, and it comes down to picking the right covering. Use a clean, low-weed seed top dressing, such as good quality topsoil, from a reputable supplier, or a well-made compost. That's the swap that matters most. A small bag or bucket covers a surprising amount of patchwork, and it's the difference between reseeding that thickens your lawn and reseeding that quietly restocks your weed problem. Mistake 4. The ground itself. Even the right top dressing can't save a seed that never reaches soil in the first place. Grass seed has to make direct contact with dirt to sprout. It cannot grow sitting on a mat of dead thatch or on compacted ground. Here's a free test you can run right now. Push a long screwdriver into the soil. If it slides in several inches with barely any resistance, you're fine. If it stops after an inch or two, that ground is compacted, and seeds scattered on top of it is mostly going to feed the birds. Compacted soil needs core aeration, the kind that physically pulls plugs of dirt out of the ground, not the spiked shoes that just shove the compaction sideways. Do that right before you seed, and those holes become natural seed pockets, protected and already in contact with soil. Even if every other step goes right, the wrong bag of seed can quietly sabotage the whole project. Two things matter most here. First, match the seed to your climate and to whatever grass is already growing. Cool season grasses like fescue, Kentucky bluegrass, and perennial ryegrass belong in northern yards, while warm season types like Bermuda, zoysia, and St. Augustine are built for southern heat, and mixing categories usually means fighting your own climate every season. Second, actually read the label before you buy. Cheap blends often pad the bag with filler crop seed and a measurable percentage of weed seed, and a lawn that looks great for 6 weeks before thinning out again is often a sign of fast-germinating annual ryegrass rather than a real lasting turf grass. Seed also loses viability as it ages, so buy it close to when you plan to use it, instead of pulling a bag out of a hot shed from 2 summers ago. The free fix hiding in plain sight. There's one more fix that costs nothing at all, and it might matter more than everything above it combined. Raise your mower. Weed seeds need light-hitting bare soil to sprout. Cut grass short and you open gaps that let sunlight straight through to the dirt underneath. Cut it a notch or 2 taller, and the grass shades its own soil, cutting weeds off from the light they're waiting for, while also growing deeper roots that hold up better through summer heat. Most people mow short because it looks tidy without realizing they've been feeding weeds on purpose for years. The watering switch, last piece, and it's where more new seed dies than anywhere else. A new seed has no roots yet. It's sitting in the top half-inch of soil, and if that layer dries out even once after germination starts, that seedling is gone for good. So while you're waiting for grass to come up, water light and often enough to keep the surface consistently damp, adjusting for your climate and soil type. Once the new grass is up, and you've mowed it a couple of times, switch back to deep occasional watering. That switch is what turns fragile new grass into something durable. Put it together and it's a sequence. Check what's already on the lawn. Loosen compacted ground. Seed in the right window. Cover it with a clean low weed seed top dressing. Water it like a seed, not a lawn. Raise that mower and leave it there. Do this correctly for 1 season, and you'll see real thickening, fewer bare patches, and noticeably less weed pressure by the following spring. But most badly weeded lawns don't fully turn around in 1 round. It usually takes 2 seasons running before it holds for good, and that's exactly where the second trap shows up. The lawn looks so much better after that first season that people quietly go back to old habits. They mow short again. They grab whatever topsoil is cheapest. They skip the second round of seeding because the yard finally looks decent. And the grass that hasn't fully thickened yet gets exposed to bare soil and daylight all over again by the following fall, right back to where this all started. Do it once, and you'll notice the difference. Do it twice, and next year you won't have a weed lawn left to fix at all. Picture that same yard 12 months from now. Thick enough that the neighbor stops to ask what you did differently.